Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Becca, and today we're going to be talking about the Google Career Certificate program. So the program is an at-your-own-pace, remote, online course platform. The platform is through Coursera, which Coursera itself, they offer their own courses from other universities and other certificate programs out there. The one in particular with Google is the Grow with Google, and they offer cybersecurity, data analytics, IT support, user experience design, which I did, digital marketing and e-commerce, and project management. My particular program was the user experience design, which was $39 a month. They let you know it's going to take about 6 months at 10 hours a week. So that can vary if you're going to be doing it, like really fast and more than 10 hours or less. It just depends what you're going to do. My situation, I did it like part-time. I worked a full-time job, so I was doing my full-time job and spent an hour or two after work every day and went ahead and did the course on the meantime. It definitely took me longer than 6 months, which is my own issue, but you can go ahead and go a little faster if you don't have a full-time job, and you can get it done quicker than the 6 months or just within that 6 month period. So I'm going to go ahead and just read off what they have on their website for the user experience design program, which is the one that I did, which is what this whole video is about. So basically what this goes into is getting started with the fast-growing field of user experience design with professional certificate developed by Google. Learn the foundations of UX design, including empathizing with users, building wireframes and prototypes, and conducting research to test your designs. So they say that there's no relevant experience required, 100% remote online learning, and under 10 hours a week for study, which is the 6 months that they said. Like I said, if you go quicker with it, you'll get done faster, vice versa. They said that the median salary in UX design is $112,000 a year, which is the median. So I'm going to give you my thoughts afterwards, but I'm just going to say what they have on here. And right now there's 138,000 jobs open in UX design. So as a UX designer, you can also be a UX designer, a UI designer, which is a user interface designer, interaction designer, visual designer, and a product designer. Under this program, they have 7 courses or 7 modules within the user experience design. I'm just going to go over this real quick and tell you what it is. So they have foundations of user experience design, start with the UX design process, empathize, define, and ideate, build wireframes and low fidelity prototypes, conduct UX research and test early concepts, create high-fidelity designs and prototypes in Figma, responsive web design in Adobe XD, and design for social goods and prepare for jobs. They have all these things, and basically what they kind of say is that they're going to prepare you for the job. They're going to teach you everything you need to know, but at the end they're going to prepare you for a job. They're going to connect you with their consortium, I think that's what they said, of brands that they work with. And then having that kind of like, I don't want to say clout, but like your clout for like saying you like learned from Google, So that's kind of like what it is. I am going to go through the pros and cons of taking this course, and then at the very end I'm going to go over my own personal thoughts and my own experiences. Let's go over pros first. I feel like that's, a good start. I think that's what people, if they're going to click on this video, they're going to want to know like what is like, is it worth it, The first pro I have is that it's an at-your-own-pace program. You can finish it faster and get your certificate faster. It's $39 a month, so you don't have to spend as much if you're going to get done faster. I definitely, the 10 hours a week, a couple hours every day. It depends how your work schedule is. It's really great if you're working a full-time job or you have kids and you don't really have the opportunity to go into like actual school and be full-time with that. So that's really nice. And because of that, they have flexible deadlines. So with the flexible deadlines, they give you like their own set deadlines of when they would like this done, but you're able to push it back if you go past that deadline. I think the very first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, my deadline is coming up and blah, 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 all that. And there's a little button that says push deadline, and then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it, which is really nice. One thing that I realized maybe 2/3 of the way in, I was going in order, and which is fine, like you want to go in order of the whole course, but going in order in regards to like when I had an assignment, I tried to finish that assignment before I went in and actually moved on to the next lesson, and I should have like tested this beforehand, but what you can do is if you know to go back to it, you can pass it for like, you can just skip to the next one and learn more. So there were times when I wasn't able to like physically work on an assignment because just the situation it was. And so after I learned I could do this, I got all my lectures in like one day, and then the next day I would just work on designing. So I was able to actually like work faster and more towards the end of it. That's why it took me so long, because I was like, okay, I need to finish this in order. They need this, by this date and all that jazz. And I really didn't need to do that. That is the nice thing about it, which I actually really like. So this is perfect for those who, have kids, or they have prior engagements, or, they have a full-time job or 2 jobs or whatever it is, and you still can work on your own time, which is great. They do offer financial aid. I didn't do financial aid. You can go ahead and see kind of what they offer, but you might be able to get it for free or for a discounted rate. It is $40 a month, so kind of see if that works in your budget for, what you decide to do for your career. For my next pro is that every course was taught by a different instructor, which is really nice because it broke up that monotony, and you also got to know the instructor themselves. They all work at Google, so they all have their unique story of how they got there. And I thought, okay, maybe I needed to be in that particular space, like industry, in order to get a job at, like, let's say Google or like a different bigger company. A lot of them did do the traditional route, but a lot of them did not. So that kind of gave me hope of like, okay, I think I can do it, Just bringing that up. The nice thing is that they also brought in other people to tell their side of the stories, or other levels within Google, and telling you, this is what they did and like their experience and all that. So it was really nice to see a different perspective, which was really cool. Another thing that they did was they brought in a lot of resources along your course load. So things like articles, sample works that you can look at, helpful websites and all that. And I really liked that, because what I did was every time they did like a helpful tool or resource, I would actually bookmark it on my computer, and I just referred back to it later. So a lot of the stuff that I have, I just refer back to, and I just have that neatly organized in that bookmark folder so that I can go back to it if I need to. Or let's say I want to use a design program and I forgot the name of it. It's on there and I don't have to worry about it. So that is a nice thing. They give you a lot of resources, and it is an at your own pace program, so you don't have to look at it or have to use it. But I definitely would recommend saving all of those, because they're putting it in there for a reason. And I really enjoyed the fact that they broke up that monotony of just videos or just reading materials. And so I felt more relaxed doing it as compared to like an actual schooling where you're only given, just the lectures and then a reading to do on your own. Like, this is all part of the program, and they break it up. I want to say the longest video is like 10 minutes or 9 minutes. Like, I have a really short attention span, so it was really helpful for me to do that. And they would do a couple videos and then a reading, and then like a resource, like an article or something, and that just broke it up and made it more interesting for me, and I actually really like that part. Another thing is towards the end of it, they of course are going to do 3 case studies throughout the entire program. You're going to be able to use Figma and Adobe XD, which are very popular programs that a lot of jobs are looking for now. And with that, they also prepped you for jobs, like with interviews. They told you about the different kinds of user experience design jobs, or just in general, like I said earlier, with like interaction designer, interface designer, stuff like that. They told you about all the other ones, like a copywriter and all those things that are within that scope of UX. They also went over if you decided to go freelance. So if they kind of told you about like business proposals and invoices and all of that, and what you need to do for that. It was a really short module, so I also recommend, not even just from this, I would recommend looking at YouTube. That's what I've been doing in the meantime. And a lot of people that are user experience designers or just graphic designers in general, they post a lot of helpful content on YouTube. So I would definitely recommend not just stopping at Google career certificates like at this UX design program, because apparently, like, I didn't know. I should have like researched this more when I first started doing this, but this is just your fundamentals. This is a certificate program. There are bachelor's degrees in this where they go to school for 4 years, so I can't even imagine 4 years versus 6 months, like how much information we're being put into that. So I definitely would recommend, if you can, going more and trying to find like other resources. So this is perfect just as your basis and everything, and that kind of segues into my cons. It is just a fundamental program, so you're not going to learn every single thing you need to know for UX design. So going in and watching videos like Flux Academy is really good. They go into graphic design and user experience design and like their experience. They give free courses on YouTube, and I've been watching their stuff a lot, and they don't even just go into graphic design, like even like development stuff, because a lot of the things that we're doing is you're designing, let's say, a website or an app, but it's not going to be like an actual working website. Like, you need to talk to an engineer or a developer. And like, I know Flux Academy, they go into how to do like Webflow and Framer, which are no code types of website engines, kind of like, I guess, Wix or Squarespace, but it's a lot more customizable. It's really hard to learn, but that's like a whole nother video, and I can go over all of that. But I definitely, it's more, when you think of UX design, it's not going to be like a functioning website. It is like the essence of a website. Let's just say a website. It's you're designing the way that it looks for a reason. You're getting research. You're figuring out what makes them click this, or like what makes them choose this or the other. Like, you're talking to real people and getting their input to influence your designs to make it easier for them to use. I feel like when people just do graphic design, not just graphic design, but just like someone just learning, they're just designing it because it looks pretty, and that's not really what UX design is. Yes, you want to have a nice aesthetic to it, but you're not just applying, a button in this area because, it looks good there. No, there has to be a reason why it needs to be there, and that's kind of what user experience design is. You're making it a better user experience when they're using a product like a website or an app. That was kind of like my segue into cons, and I'm gonna kind of wrap back to like the first point I said about finishing at your own pace. If you finish slower, you're gonna spend more money, and that was my issue. I was like, you know what, it's fine, like I'll just put it in the back burner. I'm just gonna take my time with it. And a lot of the chunk of it that I took my time was the fundamentals. It was a lot of learning, and I felt like I took forever on just that big chunk. I want to say maybe 1 through 5 is like, or 1 through 4 is like the fundamentals, you're learning everything, and then 4 to 7 or 5 to 7 on the modules are like you're actually doing the designs for like a website or an app or a responsive design. I breezed through the last like 3 modules because it was all designing and I knew what to do, but like I felt like because I took my time at the beginning, I wasn't able to finish within the 6-month period. We're just gonna stop at a 6-month period. I'm not gonna tell you how long it took me, but it took me a lot longer than I preferably would like to. If you're gonna do this program, make sure you're dedicated and you're gonna do that. That brings me to my second point. Because of the flexible deadlines and you don't have anyone like pushing you, it is really easy to just push it off. And no one's gonna hold you accountable. Like, Google doesn't have people that are gonna be like, you need to finish this or you get an F. Like when you're in college, like you have a deadline or you get an F. And so that was the nice thing, was that, I could push the deadlines to like my own schedule, but then no one held me accountable if I didn't. So it was like, that is the thing, if you gotta have someone that is gonna hold you accountable if you're gonna do it. So that was, I think, one of the main things that I struggled with, because I was like, you know what, I really want to finish this, but I got other things to do and blah blah blah, whatever. And I just needed someone there to do the program with me or just to hold me accountable. One of the last things that I have as for cons is that other learners don't take it seriously. So you might be taking it as a whole career change, which is what I did. I did a whole, 180 with like everything. And if you follow me on this channel, I do makeup. I do makeup and skincare. I'm an esthetician. So it's just like from esthetician to graphic designer, that's crazy. So I went into this graphic design user experience world, and I really wanted feedback on my designs or like my thoughts and stuff. And they do forums where you give your opinion, you submit assignments, and you get people's opinions on it or their feedback. And a lot of people would just write "great job," or they would just put a period and then send it. They don't give you any type of feedback. And I was like, okay, cool, like, awesome. That's not gonna help me at all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So that definitely, there's probably people that, they don't really care to the same extent. I didn't notice this, but I was watching another YouTuber talk about their user experience design program and their experience, and they looked at the participants, like tens of thousands of users that started off with like the first module, and there's only a couple thousand, several thousand that finished it. So it was like there's a big drop-off rate, and if you're actually going to finish it. And so if you're really dedicated, you're going to give that feedback and your opinion on it. And I wish that I was able to get actual constructive criticism from that, or at least like having someone from Google, like, I know it's a lot to be like, I want someone from Google to like check my work. But I think if you're a Google program, I feel like they should have some people that are monitoring it, or, giving feedback every once in a while. That's a long shot to say like I want someone there, but it's like, I think I need better feedback. It didn't really prepare me for constructive criticism in that aspect from my coworkers or co-learners. But I did get a lot of feedback. We did do user research, and I used a lot of like my family and friends to go ahead and help me with my program. And I got a lot of constructive criticism from them, more than I did like the people that are learning. So I definitely would make sure to like, don't take it so seriously in that regards of like, if someone's not going to help you, you're like, okay, whatever. Like, go out of your way to find the resources you need. One of the programs is Figma, and I joined a Figma community on Facebook, and people like to post their designs and get feedback. And on there, people are, I don't know about the group that I followed, but they're like brutally honest about like what's wrong with your design, or what do you need to change, or if it's a good job. And so I definitely would join those communities and see if that's something that, can help you. So my final thoughts and my own opinions, I am currently looking for a job, and I have been applying every single day for a month, and I have not heard anything back. And so all I've gotten are rejection emails, unfortunately. And so I have to step back and look at it like, okay, what am I doing wrong? A lot of people say that you're not going to get jobs unless it's like a real life case study. Throughout your program, there's 3 case studies that you work on, you iterate on throughout the whole time you're learning how to do this. So there are 3 case studies within the Google Career Certificate program, and they're pre-selected prompts. You get to choose whatever prompt you want, but they're like, there's a prompt generator and then you just do it. Those aren't really going to get you those jobs unless you're doing a real life person. So what they offer through Google too, like you can go out and there's a website that you can go on, and then anything you can do like free work or volunteer for like nonprofits and stuff as part of the UX team. Those are probably going to help you get a job better. I'm in the process of fixing a lot of my portfolio, and I definitely realize now, especially like after I finished the program, I have a lot of the fundamentals, but I've been watching YouTube a lot, and there are a lot of portfolio reviews, and I'm like, ooh, I have a lot of those like those things that they say not to do. So I'm like, okay, I want to fix it. So I'm currently now in the process of fixing everything. Redoing my resume. I think I've redone my resume like 5 times. And you want to make sure, I can go into all of that like in another video. And that's really going to go into like your resume and what you want to include and stuff. And I definitely could go into that in another video. But I am doing everything I can to find a job in this particular field. I definitely want to see what's out there. So in the meantime, what I'm doing is I'm doing community projects. So different businesses in my community offering my services at a discounted rate. They do offer freelancing, like they talk about that in the program. So in a way it's like freelancing, but it's more like within my community instead of working for like a big company. So I have a couple of smaller businesses that are asking for, you know, website design, which is what I did. It's not necessarily with the research phase. You're more of talking and consulting with the business that you're working with. But that's really going to help you get some real life case study work, and then you can add those to your case study portfolios and then kind of build off of that so you have experience. I definitely would recommend looking at YouTube. I would look at portfolio reviews. I would look up different like redesign challenges. I would do different things to kind of get yourself more stimulated with UX design. I am currently taking a graphic designs course so that I can learn more about like user interface from the UX design part. So it's through Coursera, which is what I'm using, which is what Google uses, and Coursera offers a graphic designs course through the California Institute of Arts. So I'm actually taking that right now to kind of build on my skill. And I wouldn't just stop at the UX design course. Like if you can do graphic design or if you can do coding and stuff, I would definitely take those courses through Coursera because they have a lot of different courses to choose from. Just to kind of hone in on your skills and then also just like get more experience. You can add more of these certificates to your resume and that kind of builds you as like a well-rounded individual. So I definitely would recommend that. I would not give up. I have had imposter syndrome to the max, and so especially making a whole career change from aesthetics to user experience design, it's like I'm like, am I ready for this? Like, is this me and everything? And I want to say don't give up. I have definitely had my bad days where I'm like, why did I do this in the first place? But it's worth it. When I get the job, I will definitely update you guys. But in the meantime, I'm just going to work on myself and work on my skills, add more certificates to my resume, and kind of build from there. So I personally would recommend this, especially if you're making a whole career change, or if you're already in something within that field and you want to have a certificate under your belt. I would definitely recommend that. Just take in consideration the pros and cons of what I said, just to kind of approach it a different way. I would watch more videos and kind of see if this is something you're into, and then I would make sure to dedicate time to it, hold yourself accountable, and actually take it seriously. And I definitely would recommend it. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I want to try to switch over to doing more graphic design stuff, as well as, you know, makeup. If you're here for makeup, then I'll keep doing makeup. Like, I really love doing that too, but I also love doing like the user experience design or the graphic design of it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye!